Welcome back, everyone. You see on the screen a new face there, and we haven't seen her in a week or so, and it's good to have her back with us, smiling and looking ready to roll on the big show today. That's Dr. Friday, our financial consultant. We'll open up the phone line, 737-7587. It's interesting, Dr. Friday. I'd say within the last week and a half or so, there have been a lot of new developments, other news going on in the world, of course, but also I'm not hearing as many complaints right now from folks wondering about their stimulus check, unemployment. Trust me, I know there are folks still out there with problems, but what are you hearing at this point?
You're correct. I have a few cases where most of them, they either mailed in a tax return or they were a dependent in 2018 and the parents haven't filed the taxes for 19. So I have a few unusual cases, but I'm not hearing the calls with people that were really in need of money, people that were on a Social Security disability or people that had lost jobs. I'm not getting those phone calls any longer. So I'm going to assume that they have all been receiving their funds now.
It's either that or they've just given up, and I hope it's not that.
I hope not.
Because we've said before that the checks will continue to be going out, or payments anyway, until September potentially,
Right.
For some at the bottom of the list. That's the way it'll play out. Unemployment, haven't heard as much. Now the new questions I'm getting, and we will take calls, by the way. I know there's still some stragglers. You got questions, 737-7587. So what have you heard? And I will compare notes because I've been following it too with regard to talk of a possible stimulus payment plan that will come again and what form it might take and where it stands right now.
Right. Well, I've been following a couple different chats, to be honest. One theory is that they're going to extend the federal unemployment. That's the one everyone's concerned about. The state unemployment, usually there's extensions involved if you haven't been able to get employment, but there's talk about possibly extending that $600 credit. They're also talking about possibly giving a credit to employers that are hiring people from the unemployment line. So I think the biggest concern in my side from the small business owners that we have, the biggest concern is they can't compete with someone getting $600 or $700 a week. That's not what these people were making prior, so it doesn't really make sense. So they're concerned that they're not going to be able to get their employees back until after July 31st, when they're planning on that extension dying for the $600.
I mean, you believe there are some, if they can, and that doesn't die, even if the job's kind of ready for them, they're not going to want to go back, because we've heard reports of a few people right now making more money on unemployment than they were at the job that they've lost.
I have people every single day because my bread and butter is dealing on a monthly basis with small business owners. And so, we talk every day with somebody that's trying to get back the same employees, the same number of employees. And they're being told, there's two reasons. One, they don't have a place to put their children. They don't feel safe with putting their children back in childcare. And then the second is they're afraid to come back to work. They don't know if it's safe. I think we're going to need to promote and show that statistically that the numbers are that you're extremely safe still out there. I know there are cases, but considered against the population, those cases are fairly small, and people are going to have to, start moving forward towards the life that they had prior to this virus.
Yeah, I agree on that. On a couple of points. First, one, my understanding now, whatever plan was passed by the House or moved along, it's in the Senate, and they're not going to be on the same page. So who knows? No. I mean, I would not hold your breath on anything passing soon with regard to a stimulus payment or something new along those lines. And as far as unemployment is concerned, I think you've made it clear before, based on the state law here as it regards that, if your job comes back and you just don't feel safe or for whatever reason choose not to return, you'll lose your unemployment. You can't just say, well, I don't feel safe, can I keep drawing unemployment when my job's waiting for me? You don't have to go back. No one's going to force you to. But if you choose not to, when your job's waiting for you, then you lose your unemployment.
I don't think there's enough small employers actually reporting that information back to unemployment. So at this time, I think a lot of them are waiting until unemployment tells them that they're not getting the money, or until July 31st, whichever comes first. So again, I mean, from the employee side, they're saying, why should I go back to work when I'm making more money than I made even at my old job? I get it. But from the employer side, they're wanting to open and move forward towards a new tomorrow, and that's not easy unless they have employees.
Good point. And if you choose not to go back, besides losing your unemployment, they're not going to hold your job for you. You don't come back, they're going to hire someone else, and you're going to just lose your work. Right. So those are all things you got to think about. Let's take a quick call before we go to our first break from Linda. Linda, good morning. Hi, Linda.
Yeah, good morning. A couple of weeks ago, I called in and talking about the federal money, whether they have received it and how they're going to receive it. I talked with my nephew-in-law, and he said that they had actually added that federal money to his unemployment. So he was getting it. But his business is still not open downtown Nashville, so he's still waiting in the wings to find out what's going to go on with that. So I just thought I'd let you know, because Dr. Friday had said she'd like to know whether it was being added to an unemployment check or not. Thank you, and good morning to you both of you.
Good morning. I'm glad to hear that, and thank you for calling back, Linda. I remember that, and you wanted to know that. Yeah. So it's added in.
And that's great to know.
Yeah.
That's great to know. It's always good to know, because I'm not collecting it, and so sometimes we hear different stories. So it's really good to hear from the people that are actually living it to tell us exactly how or what's going on. So thanks again for calling back. I appreciate it.
Listen, Dr. Friday, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll cover some more ground, as well as the fact that tax day is fast approaching. It's weird. We're saying that, and already June 15th. No, that doesn't matter. It's going to be July 15th. We'll take a break and talk about preps on that and what you're seeing and more. We can take calls 737-7587. Though, like I said, I think it's slowed down a bit, and that's a good thing. People, I hope, are getting what they need. We'll be back with more with our expert, Dr. Friday, right after this.